All right, welcome back into our FastBreak podcast. It's April 16th, right before Easter break. We got NBA playoffs finalized, brackets done. Play-in tournament starts tonight. And then NBA draft coming up. We'll talk about some of the top college prospects. Cooper Flagg obviously looking like number one. And then the transfer portal rankings updated again from last week. So, Harry, let's jump into some NBA.
NBA, here we go. NBA playoffs. Longest playoffs in the Big Four sports.
I'd say hockey, but sure.
Well, no, it's about 2 months in basketball. So, I mean, we got the addition of the play-in since, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
3 years ago. We got the play-in. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather lose my play-in game because you get to be in the draft lottery. And you're
Hot take.
And you're not good enough. I mean, if you're a playing team, you're clearly not good enough to be the best of the best.
Yeah.
So you might as well get your chance to get a good player.
I would only see like 2 teams that I would want to lose.
Yeah, I don't know. The Mavericks, I don't think they really want to win. They've kind of given up on their season.
I would let them get out.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe.
And then the Bulls. I'm thinking the 3 or 4 teams that don't.
I was thinking the Heat.
That would, yeah.
I mean, they'd both have to play the 1 seed. So
Yeah.
you're either playing the Thunder, who are absolutely stacked, or you're playing the Cavaliers, who are absolutely stacked and have played really good all season.
And then the Celtics super team with the 2 seed, though.
Yep. And they're looking to run it back, right? They won it last year. So
Yeah.
Back to back.
Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown.
Baylor Shireman.
Okay.
Oh.
First NBA start the other day. But we can go by game here. So starting with the 4-5 matchup in the West, we got Nuggets, Nikola Jokic looking like the MVP once again this year, versus the Clippers, who have had some injury troubles. Obviously, Paul George is gone. So who do you see coming out of that matchup?
Nuggets.
I would agree.
I'd agree too.
I think
That's a
Nuggets
clean
could
sweep.
honestly.
I think they'll make it.
I think it'll be a sweep.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll keep going.
And then another interesting matchup. This is kind of the, I think, most exciting matchup in the playoffs, in the first round at least. Lakers, Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards, hot, young guy. He's on fire right now, playing against LeBron, who he's kind of looked up to his whole career. So who do you see coming out of that? Do you
Wolves.
see you see the Timberwolves?
Wolves. They beat Luka last year, and I think the Wolves come out.
Harry?
I'd have to agree on that one. I don't think the Lakers are all that, to be honest with you. That's just my opinion.
I don't think their 3 ball hogs are going to help them out.
Do you think LeBron, this is it? Or do you think he's going to keep playing?
I think LeBron's going to do LeBron stuff and choke in games 4, 5, and 6. So
And then come back in Game 7 and win.
nope, it's not going to go to game 7. It's going to go to game 6.
Okay. We'll have to see what happens. And then kind of skipping down, a playing game starts tonight. Warriors-Grizzlies. Steph Curry kind of winding down his career. He's still playing really good right now, but you just don't know how many more playoffs he'll get. But the Warriors snuck in here. After they got Jimmy Butler, they went on a hot streak. So Grizzlies fired their coach, John Morant. Who do you see winning Warriors-Grizzlies?
Grizzlies.
First one I'm going to have to disagree with you on.
I can't see it because Warriors, you look back 5 years ago, 3 years ago, best team in the league, but not. They lost by 40 to the Celtics. Granted, they're a number 2 team, but I just don't see a 7 seed going any far. When you lose by 40 to a.
I think the Warriors. I think Curry's really good. I think he's going to propel them, and then I think Jimmy Butler. He's shown he can be. Jimmy Butler in the playoffs is one of the best players in the league. So, I think the Warriors. Maybe the Warriors even beat the Rockets. Never know.
That's what I was looking at right there, too. But jumping over to the east side, 1 seed Cavs. They'll play the winner of the Bulls Heat, who we already kind of talked about. But then jumping down, 4-5 game, Pacers-Bucks. I think this might be the year the Pacers finally get it done. Tyrese Halliburton came off a kind of rough Olympic team performance. Didn't really play that much. Who do you see, Pacers-Bucks?
Bucks.
I'd agree on that one. Bucks.
Giannis is pretty hard to stop in a 7-game series.
Yep.
So
That's what I was thinking.
And then
Lillard.
Yeah.
So
Lillard. I think
and Brook Lopez.
Yep. I just think it's all
too
around.
much, overpowering.
Really, if I look at Pacers, all I see is Halliburton, but then I see full squad with the Bucks. So
yeah, we'll have to see. And then Knicks Pistons. That'll be a fun series. Pistons go from last year 32-game losing streak to now they were a 2 seed 2 weeks ago. Fell to the 6 line, but they're playing good right now. Obviously, Cade Cunningham. They have the Thompsons. So we'll have to see. Who do you see winning Knicks Pistons?
Pistons. Yeah.
Give me the Rizzlers team. Give me the Knicks. I think Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, I think they're really good. And then the addition of Karl Anthony Towns, I think is just
That's
too
going to help
good.
them. And I'm going to take the Knicks, too. I could see this being a 7-game series. Game 7 in the Garden to win it.
Cat has not been performing the way you want him to. So
He's an experienced center in the postseason, so we'll have to see. And then the 2 seed, obviously, Harry already talked about it.
Oh, boy.
2
Give me
seed
the Celtics. Give me the Celtics. Come on.
going all the way.
I'm
This right side, I don't see from the right side. The East is just like anywhere. I feel like the West is way harder than the East. No,
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
No, I think there's only one team out of the West that can win it, and that's the Thunder. But
Wow.
the
Way
Nuggets,
to take a take.
the
The 1
Nuggets
seed.
too. What?
no, I think the only team.
I think the Wolves can make it far too.
No,
Yeah,
I don't agree
think
with
the
that.
Wolves.
I
I
don't
think the
agree with
Wolves can
that
beat
one.
the Nuggets. And
Well, yeah, but I don't think either of them are either competing with the Cavs or the Celtics. So
I could see the Knicks going on a run, taking down the Celtics.
that could happen too. But I think the Celtics are really good. So
All right. So that kind of leaves me here. Like, how do you think these NBA teams rebuild so fast? The Thunder go from 2 years ago being terrible, and now they're the 1 seed. The Cavaliers lose LeBron. They get Donovan Mitchell, but they're terrible 2 years ago. Come back. They're the 1 seed now. The Pistons, we already talked about it. 32-game losing streak last year, terrible. Now this year they're in the playoffs. And the Rockets, terrible last year. Now they're a 2 seed. Like, how do you think these teams rebuild so fast?
I think it's just like compared to college, the freedom in season. Like you see coaches coming and going during the season. I feel like most of these teams are old. Besides, OKC obviously, but then I just feel like they've been in the NBA for so long, they know how to adjust to a new coach so fast. So they get this new coach in there or new players, and in a week they're already playing together like they've been playing together for 4 years.
Yeah.
So
I also think part of it is if we take the Pistons for example, they were god awful for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and then that's just a period in time where we have draft picks.
Yeah.
We make the right draft pick. We're going to be good in 3-4 years, which is what happened with Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. I mean, if you think about it, if James Wiseman would have stepped it up after he got traded to the Pistons, we're talking about maybe a 2 seed here.
Yeah.
But I think part of it is you have very limited players that actually play on these NBA teams. Like, there's very little rotations that go to 9-10 men deep.
Yeah.
That consistently play more than 10-15 minutes a game. So I think part of it is you stack up that front part of your lineup, and then it just gets way easier.
Yeah. I'd kind of say this, though. Like, the MLB and NBA right now I think they need to do somewhat what the NFL does with the salary cap.
Oh,
like,
100%.
You see these NBA teams just loaded, and it doesn't, spread the talent out across the league. The MLB, obviously, you got the Dodgers and Yankees. Like, they're spending the most money. They have all the talent. Whereas the NFL, it feels a lot more balanced. A lot more teams have a chance to win.
I'm pretty sure the NBA does have a salary cap.
I'm sure they do, but it just feels like
it's just not limited to where you're not
and then that leads you to looking at the odds to get number 1 draft pick. Obviously, it's going to be Cooper Flagg if he goes to the NBA.
Yeah.
But the Thunder, who are a 1 seed, have the 8th best chance to get the overall first pick.
But that's because they just did so well with their trades.
Okay. So maybe that's the way to go now, is just the
Yeah,
trades.
well,
I think that's crazy though.
A lot of it is that trade when they had Paul George. I mean, and Shea. That might go down as one of the worst trades in history.
And
you're giving away Paul. Like, the Clippers got Paul George, but in exchange they gave up an MVP candidate, and then these are still the picks from the trade.
Yeah. Okay.
From the Clippers trade.
So
that the Thunder have in the 8.
So that changes some things. I was wrong there.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not the fact that it's trades. They built up to get to this point, and that's just good for that's just good management from them. So
maybe that's the way to go. Just trade and see what you can get, and hope that the guys you trade and picks you get end up working out.
Well, remember when Zion was getting drafted, the Pelicans had a 0.7% chance to get the number 1 overall pick,
and they ended up with Zion,
and they ended up getting it.
Maybe the biggest bust in NBA history.
Maybe, but it's like, I mean, if the Thunder get lucky, That's actually yeah, no, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go way back on that. Whoa.
Biggest bust?
Biggest
He has
bust.
done nothing since being in the league.
If anything, Wiseman is the biggest in the past 2
Zion
years.
goes from being one of the most dominant college basketball
He
players
still is dominant.
to being in the NBA. He gains 50 pounds and is hurt every season and can't do anything.
So let me rattle off a few names for you. Anthony Bennett.
okay.
When was the last time he was in the league that you can remember?
Couldn't tell you.
Bingo. James Wiseman.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's okay.
terrible.
Those
But
are
I don't know.
just 2 names for you out of the
I just feel like how dominant Zion was in college, people expected him to be.
Dario Milicic.
But then look at Wiseman
like,
too. Wiseman was
Yeah.
crazy in college, and he just can't play now. So.
Yeah, so that kind of, I guess maybe I'm wrong there, but I'm going to stick with my take.
No,
But that kind
there's
of.
no sticking with that take. There's no sticking with that take.
I think seeing the Hornets at 4, I think they could be really good in the next couple
Yeah,
years.
you get LaMelo and Cooper Flag
Yeah.
together. I mean, that could be a scary duo.
Any of
that
these-
would be fun.
Any of these teams, I feel like besides the Wizards
The
and the
Pelicans.
Pelicans and the Jazz,
Yeah.
would all turn into top 5 teams in their
Yeah.
respective conference next year with the addition of Cooper Flag. If he turns out to be the prospect we all tout him to be.
Don't act like he's not going to go to the league.
Who really?
Well, no, I'm just saying if he's not he's not. I'm not saying he's gonna be a bust, but if he is
Yeah,
Yeah.
that might be on that level as Zion. But that kind of leads us into the next segment, talking about college guys. We're going to talk about the transfer portal again this week. AJ Storr, now the number 1 recruit in the portal, now is just crystal ball to Ole Miss. Should be a big
Wow.
get for Chris Beard down
really big.
in Oxford. And he has transferred 8 times in the last 8 years between high school and college, which I think you got to put a limit on some of that stuff.
Oh,
like
100%.
that's unreal. And for him not to realize that if you've transferred 8 times and no team's the fit, that's probably on you as a player more than it is the coach or the team that you're on.
Yeah. And then speaking of his old team, Wisconsin, they're picking it up in the portal too. 3rd overall ranked. They got they have 1 guy going out right now in the portal. They could be a sneaky team to win the Big Ten next year.
Yeah.
And then we also got to talk about the comeback of Braden Smith.
Yeah, he's coming back senior year.
One of the
right?
best
Yep.
Did he win the Bob Cousy Award this year?
I'm not sure.
I know he was. I know.
It was either him or Clayton.
Yeah, he was one of the 2 finalists, and it's he's gonna win it next year.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
100%. He's by far the best point guard in college basketball.
Yeah. And then Michigan, another Big Ten
Michigan
team.
still.
They got number 1 overall player in the portal, Yaxel Lendenborg from UAB. He's looking like he'll be a stud. And
Yeah.
I think now, anymore with the portal, it might benefit you more to go to a smaller school where you can develop as a freshman, sophomore, and then do what Lendenborg did, transfer to a bigger school for your senior year,
Yeah.
junior, senior year, and then become a top 10 pick, lottery pick, where instead maybe you're a high recruit out of high school, you go to a big school, you never play, and then you're just kind of
Stuck.
You're lost.
Yeah, you're stuck. I'm thinking, who player that we've seen done that at Creighton? Trying to think, maybe Brock Weiss.
Yeah.
He came here for a year, didn't play, and then transferred to North Texas.
I
And
don't
then-
feel like Creighton's the best example of that.
Yeah,
but
no, Creighton's not the best example of that, but I feel like there's definitely been some players that. Davion Mintz.
Yeah, Janai Broom, he was at
Morehead State.
Morehead State. He transfers for his junior year at Auburn, develops for a year, gets feels in the system, and then senior year goes off, and now arguably, I know what you're gonna say, arguably the best center in college basketball.
100%. Or power forward. He's technically power forward. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
All right. Well, how are we feeling about this? Because I got a different epiphany about the rebuild thing.
Okay.
Well, we can just jump back.
Yeah, no, jump back.
It just hit
Let's
me because I'm looking at the thing right here, and off the top of my head, more than half of these teams have foreign players.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's you don't see it in college. In the NBA, you have way more foreign activity.
Yeah,
you got Shea, Chet, and then
Jokic, the best player in the league right
Yeah.
now.
and then Doncic, and then
Doncic, yeah.
and then Antetokounmpo.
Yep.
And then I don't know. I'm sure it goes
Keep
on.
going.
Yeah, but
Kristaps Porzingis
Yeah.
yeah, and
in
then
the Celtics.
You're you're seeing it in the NBA, obviously, because the academies, but Shea and Jokic are the best two players in the league, and neither of them are from the U.S. But, I mean, now you're starting to see it in college, too.
Well, Shea did go to
Okay.
Kentucky.
Well,
so.
Well, I'm thinking of Bourne. He was born in Canada.
Yeah.
You're starting to see it in college, too, with, like, these bigger schools are going to,
Foreign.
like, Creighton goes to Serbia, gets a
Creighton
big center.
Alexei Dimitrovic.
Like, Kentucky, Mark Pope recruited almost his whole top 6 from Europe.
Mm-hmm.
You get Kobe Bryant, the Vicic guy, and you have a loaded roster. And now these guys want to come to America to play because they know they'll have a better chance in the NBA. So I think that's kind of the changing world of the portal and NIL. Like Fedor comes over.
He'll be good next year.
I'm just thinking the scouts. I think the scouts are way more. I guess.
I think they're finally noticing that the basketball over there is just as talented, if not better.
More,
than here. Yeah. So. I mean, as it keeps changing, I'm sure next week we'll come back. There'll be another transfer portal update.
Oh, 100%. We're going to update you on the play-in.
Yep. We'll see what happens with the playoffs.
Because those are what, best of 2?
Yeah, I think so.
First one to win 2.
So we'll update you on the playoffs, see maybe what team gets a sweep or whatever. I'm sure there will be one.
Oh, 100%.
So,
Man, I won't even be here for the NBA Finals.
Yeah, but tune in for next week's episode, and we'll update you on everything. Thank you for listening.
That is the most absurd take I think I've ever heard in my life.
That is dumb.
You're just like attention.
How long was it?
12 minutes.